Shalom, I'm giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Shai, by Shalom, Kakundah, Shalom to the 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. I'm entitled the video, Trump Biometrics, Losing Your Bank Account. So this is dealing with the MOTB, one step closer. The MOTB, the microchip, or the marketed beast is right at the door, kicking the door in. This is one step closer to the government, beast government, making this thing mandatory. So anyway, what I did was I typed in Trump Biometrics, losing your bank account, and this was what came up. And now what inspired me to do this was this video. Give me a second. Okay, right here. Let me do this. Put this right next to this. Okay, so this, I was inspired by this video, and I didn't even watch the video. I watched maybe 10 seconds or so, and I said, let me go ahead and make a video. I was on my other computer. So this is put up by GMS. I'm a one. I buy 144. Shalom to the elder down there. He the title is, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, ... to receive a mark. So this is as of April 21st, so this is 2 days ago. Trump executive order will force Americans to surrender biometric data or lose their bank accounts. Nowadays, you need a bank account to function in this society, because you need a card. When you deal with a card, a credit card of any kind, every credit card that you get, it's a bank. Even though there's not, Visa, there's different banks that deal with Visa, the Visa system. And you go to BJ's, like myself. I went there yesterday, right? I got a couple of things yesterday, and I was forced to use my card. There was a self checkout. You have to use your card, but you're in and out. I get maybe 5 or 6 things. The most I ever gotten was maybe, 15 things, if that much. But I'm also in and out. Most of the time it's a card. You don't know whether they're going to take cash or not until you get up there. So I said, look, I got a couple of cards. Got my bank card. So now if they take away my bank account and I only have cash, there's limited places where they accept cash nowadays. It's getting worse. So it's one step closer to the mark of the beast. We here at GMS been 100% on this thing. So anyway, it says Trump executive order will force Americans to surrender biometric, bio meaning life, meaning you part of a biometric system. If they take a fingerprint, right, scan it, and anytime you go to the store, your fingerprint is attached to your bank account, or an eye scanner, or a face scanner. The next thing is the actual chip. So if you go to the BJ's or Targets or whatever, or like a Costco's, and they say no more cash, you got to use your fingerprint or your palm print. You can use it. That's not taking the mark. Taking the mark, as we said in videos in the past, taking the mark is when they actually put that chip, that microchip inside of you. We've been saying it here at GMS since we got on GMS. We still do videos. We put videos up to ad nauseum. Look that up, to ad nauseum. And either you'll see it or you don't see it. And I keep saying this. It's almost like a warning out there to the other major Israelite camps. Because if you're teaching IUIC, ICPK, other camps out there, Sabak, pre-Sabak or whatever, if you're teaching counter to that, when the time comes, you better set your people straight. Because if they take it, they're done, and you're done. For leading them to take that chip. I'm gonna say this again, so people don't ask me, well, my job, I had to take a palm scanner, to get in my job. Is that the mark? No, it's not the mark of the beast. Can you get a palm scanner? Yes. If you have to get a palm scanner, where they take a digital image of your palm and you put your palm and open, makes the elevator work and doors open and you can pay for things, you can do that. Fingerprint, you can do that. Eye scan, you can do that. Face scan, you can do that. You can do all that. But it's the very minute I'm trying to bring this thing home. Excuse me. The very minute that you have something inserted in you, a microchip inserted in you, that's it. You took the mark of the beast. So let me just do this, and I'm gonna let this play. I'm not gonna go along with this. So I typed in Trump biometrics losing your bank account. As of April of 2026, it says here are the key details based on reports as of April 23, which is today, 2026. So as of April 2026, the Trump administration is in, and I'm gonna watch the regular news because it's morning, is in the process of drafting an executive order that could require U.S. banks to collect citizenship data. Ultimately, it's going to be through the chip. One step closer to the chip. I keep saying that. From both new and existing customers. So if you are part of a bank, you have a account, bank savings, bank checking account, so forth, whatever other account you got, you could have had an account with that bank for the last 20 years. The bank I'm currently with, I was with them before they changed their name to their current name. I'm not going to give you the name, it's not important. But I've been with that bank for I got to be 20 years plus. Because I was with another bank, then I switched to this bank. And I've been with this bank for like over 20 years. It says, so you can say, well, what about, loyalty? Customer loyalty. Well, we can't hear that. If you're a new person, or if you've been with us for 20 years, 30 years, you got to switch over. Potentially leading to account closures for individuals unable to verify their citizenship status. While initial reports and discussions focus on collecting documents like passports or birth certificates to prove citizenship rather than exclusively using biometrics. When they put the chip, fingerprint scan, palm scan, thumb scan, fingerprint, face scan, a retina scan, and microchip. That all goes under the umbrella of biometrics. Bio meaning living thing, metrics meaning measure. So you are the bio. The metrics is the thing that they're going to put in you. The initiative is designed to debank individuals lacking proper documentation, right? So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm gonna let you hear the video. Okay. Here are the key details based on reports as of April 23, which is right now. We're on the 23rd. Proposed policy. The Treasury Department under Secretary Scott Bessent is developing this. And this is not, Trump didn't get up one morning and said everybody should get, everybody should get, receive biometric hacking. He's not saying, all he's doing, he's giving a memo and he's putting it out there like he came up with the idea. This measure to target undocumented migrants. See, that's what they're using. They say, well, you might be an undocumented migrant, so we got to put a chip in you. They won't let these migrants come back in, I see, but they're going to have to get a chip, and they're going to say, yeah. It says, though it could be millions of citizens who lack immediate access to required documents. Now, I happen to have a birth certificate in my drawer. I happen to have a social security card. Wait, how many of y'all got a birth certificate at hand? None of y'all, not many of y'all. How many of y'all got a social security card at hand? None of y'all. So you got to go crazy trying to get it. And you got to pay for it now. There's a company that'll give you a copy of it. I think it's like $25 for a copy of your birth certificate. It says debanking risk. The policy, give me a second here. Well, let me keep talking. In another minute, I'm going to disappear. It says, know your customer. Changes. Current banks are required to verify identity, name, address, social security number, but not citizenship status. The new order would change know your customer, KYC, regulations to explicitly require proof of citizenship. Concerns and challenges. Concerns and challenges. Banking groups have raised concerns about the practical challenges, and experts believe the executive order would face immediate legal challenges. Yes, it's going to go through the courts. You know, what did Senator Biden at that time in 2005 tell Chief Justice Roberts on his confirmation? Before your tenure is over, you will rule whether somebody should get a chip in their head or something, whatever, however he said it. It used to be all over YouTube. And that was in 2005. So this is not, Trump didn't get up one morning and say everybody got to get a chip. Ultimately, he's going to say it. Over its legality and potential violation of constitutional rights. What they're going to do is they're going to interpret the law as it's constitutional. Getting the mark is constitutional. That's what they're going to say. Then they can move on. They can go on. Give me a second. Okay. Let me see. Where am I? Separately, as of late April 2026, legislation has introduced an increase the use of biometrics, entry exit tracking system. Did not Trump say that? And when he was campaigning for president the first time, he said that in 2015, 2016. He said the entry exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. Over what? To track these migrants. Though the direct connection between automated biometrics ultimately is the chip. Anytime you see biometrics, it's ultimately the chip. An immediate bank account deletion to close your account has focused more on this proposed citizenship verification policy. So now you're going to have to prove yourself to be a citizen, even though you speak perfect English. You don't look like a Latin tribe. That's why they were grabbing up any person that looked Spanish, whether they were born here or not, and they had to prove that they were born here. There is no indication that all U.S. citizens bank accounts will be lost. You don't take that chip, it's going to be lost. You're going to be put out the system. But that those without specific identifications, birth certificate, social security number, driver's license, what is that? The national ID, documents could be at risk of having their accounts restricted, or you got 50,000 in the bank, you can't get the 50,000 because they restricted your account, or closed by financial institutions attempting to comply with the proposed order. You know what I'm gonna do? Banks will have to collect citizenship data. Banks may soon need citizenship data. One step closer to the mark of the beast. You other camps that can't see it, your leader, your camp, your leader of whatever Israelite group you were part of, if he tells you to get it and you go ahead and get it, you're done. You're doomed. But I'm gonna say this: we believe that there's elect among them other camps, and if you are a member of the elect, and let's say you in the IUIC, just using IUIC for an example, when the time comes, you're gonna buck up against it. This is the first time you're gonna buck up against something. You didn't buck up against a new moon being the full moon. We're gonna agree not to use the word Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Hell is an actual place. None of y'all bucked up against it, which I question whether you're the elect anyway. But if you are the elect, when the chip comes, you're gonna buck up against it. Trust me. Let me see. Banks will have to collect citizenship data. The Economic Times. Could you be affected? Millions could lose bank access. Trump is about to lock 150. That's more than half of the That's about half of the population. It's more than half of the population of adults in the U.S. or that have U.S. citizenship. Trump is about to lock 157 million Americans, U.S. citizens, out of their what? Bank accounts. Trump is about to lock 157 million Americans out of their own bank account. Maybe a Twitter screenshot or poster. And these are all, there's Facebook, Economic Times, Threads, whatever, Latin Times, the White House, modernizing, let me look at this. Modernizing payments to and from America's bank account. This order promotes operational efficiency by mandating the transition to economic payments for all federal disbursements and receipts. Is the government going to check bank accounts? What is the $3,000 bank rule? I think I know what it is. Okay, under 31 of the code, the CFR represents Code of Federal Regulation. Section 1010 is an anti-money laundering regulation requiring financial institutions to verify identities and keep detailed records when customers purchase monetary instruments such as cashier's check, money orders, or traveler's check using $3,000 to $10,000 in cash. That means you're suspect. Now let me just add to this. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Give me a second, y'all. Let me do this here. Can this lead to bio? Can this lead to biometric microchipping? Let's see what comes up. Give me a second here. I'm just boiling some eggs. Hard-boiled eggs, 3 hard-boiled eggs a day. Sometimes 2. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the video that the elder had put up. Right at that play. People might say, well, you guys say that the microchip is based upon Revelation 13 and 16. What about some other script? It really, that's the one script you need. You can go to other. What you want to do is the word mark. Look up the word mark, which is charagma. Look up the root word for charagma, which is what is it? Charax. Look up the root word for charax is grapho, and then it'll take you to certain scriptures. Charagma is mentioned, I think, 8 times in the book of Revelation, and 1 other time in the book of Acts. And in the book of Acts, it describes like a chiseling device. So anyway, it says as of April 2026, the Trump administration is pursuing an executive order requiring banks to collect citizenship data, which could lead to debanking, you not having a bank account lost, so you lose that money, for millions who cannot prove citizenship, according to reports. However, there is no evidence that this policy leads to or is connected to human biometric microchipping. So they're saying, well, there's no evidence of it. They're not saying it's either not going to happen or that's not going to happen. They're saying there's no evidence of it yet, right? Let me see something. Let me just try this, and I did this before. Let's see how this comes up. I'm sorry, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. And I did this before. You got to ask it a certain way. Okay, IOE, which stands for Internet of Everything. It says human bio biometric microchipping involves inserting small right-sized RFID or NFC chips subcutaneously under the skin, usually between the thumb and index finger. You got a picture right here. See it? So they're doing it. There's people getting it. That's it. That's the mark of the beast right there. It's not an eye scan. It's not a palm scan. It's not a fingerprint scan. It's not a face scan. It's when they actually put a chip in you. I keep bringing that home. To serve as an encrypted digital identifier, because that's ultimately what you're going to get. These chips enable contactless living, allowing users to unlock doors, pay for goods, buy or sell, access train services, buy or sell, and store digital identities, with significant adoption in Sweden and increasing interest globally. Let me do this. Let me open this up. Give me another second here. Okay, key aspects of human microchipping. If you was to put in Bible, for example, I'll probably do that. Key aspects of human microchipping. Technology and function. Most implants of near-field communication, NFC, that's in Europe, or radio frequency identification, RFID, technology to securely store small amounts of data, such as contact details, medical information, and secure ID, where you can buy and sell medical use cases. Chips this is your microchip, your mark of the beast. Chips. So in order for you, if you get sick, you got to go to the hospital. You don't got the chip, they'll deny entry. So chips can store critical medical information, allergies, blood type for emergency personnel, beneficial for patients with conditions like diabetes or Alzheimer's. Voluntary adoption. While thousands in Sweden use them for daily tasks, in other regions like the US, it is often a voluntary niche application, IG, in chip parties for employees to use as key cards. Remember 3 Square Market, look that up. 3 Square Market. Legal and ethical concerns include privacy breaches, potential tracking, and security. That's what they're going to do. They're going to track you. They're going to know how much you got in your bank account. They're going to know how much you're going to spend, what store you went to, when you brought it, the time you brought it, you got gas. You went and got a candy bar, even if you get a Snickers bar, huh? Or chunky. Consequently, 13 U.S. states have passed legislation prohibiting mandatory employee right until it goes to the Supreme Court, including Arkansas, California, Mississippi. Limitations, future trends. Let's see what this is all about. More advanced biohacking, such as Neuralink brain implants, mark of the beast, forehead or hand, for health restoration, represents the next frontier of this technology, though these are separate from customer level subcutaneous under the skin identifying chips. Customer level, buy or sell, right? Let me do this. Bible. Let's see what comes up. There we go. They'll show you that these Edomites know. When they chip you, they know that they're fulfilling the prophecy of Revelation 13:16. Human biometric microchips, and is frequently linked to the theological commentators to the mark of the beast in Revelation 13:16 and 17, while some often term newspaper eschatology argue that implantable RFID chips are the literal mark enabling buying, selling. Many theologians and scholars argue the mark represents spirit. Yeah, because they're set up. These theologians and these scholars, they're all set up. So their job, the majority of these people, the churches, are to teach you that no, that's not the mark of the beast. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to have certain people that go to church, certain Christians, that's going to question their pastors whether they should take the chip, and that's the mark of the beast. And their pastors are instructed, they receive a memo to tell them no, that has nothing to do with it. And so we're going to see what's going to happen. The game changer is going to be when it comes to, and I can't wait. I hope it takes place next week. I want this motherfucker to hurry up and, do what he got to do. Key perspective on microchipping and Bible prophecy. The mark of the beast interpretation. Many cite Revelation 13:16, 17, which describes a mark in the right hand on the forehead required to buy or sell, as even a Snicker bar, a can of beer, a bottle of beer, Corona, a brand new car, as a direct parallel to or precursor of subdermal under the skin payment capable or bio-digital microchips. So they're talking about it. So how much more receipts do you need, Bishop Nate? How many more receipts do you need, Commanding General Yohana? How many more receipts do you need, Captain Tazariak? And no, we didn't get this from Alex Jones. Now you can snap, and we laughed it off when y'all said the high priest of GMS is Alex Jones. We laughed at it. We didn't get mad. So you can mention our names. We don't get offended, because you know what? We're gonna have the last laugh. We're gonna have the last laugh. It says biblical, like I said, this thing, when it comes to pass, is right here, right as of today. Biblical interpretation, symbolism. Many scholars argue that the mark is not a physical chip, but a symbol of loyalty to a future authoritarian government. Yeah, well, your loyalty to that is to take. The future authoritarian government is going to tell you to take a chip to seal your loyalty. The beast. It is seen as a parody of the mark of the Lamb. They don't even know who the Lamb is. In verse 11 of Revelation 13. representing thoughts and behavior, forehead, hand, rather than technology, voluntary and involuntary, current trends. Okay, let me read this. Current trends. While many, including over 50,000 people, have received chips for convenience access payments, some U.S. states have passed legislation preemptively banning a mandatory human chipping. As of now, they're going to change. Trust me, they're going to change. When the federal government cuts funding, believe me, they're going to change. Partly due to these ethical and religious concerns, because you're going to have a lot of Bible Belt Edomites saying, that's the mark of the beast, we ain't taking the mark of the beast. Then they're going to say, well, you don't eat. Well, we're going to trust in Jesus, and Jesus ain't never going to come. Like the two blockheads from Genesis, they're going to trust in Jesus. Boy, that's going to be a hell of a thing tomorrow when they do that. Everybody going to be watching these guys. We were wrong about Yahweh Shai. His name is Jesus, or Yeshua. A key biblical text, Revelation 13, 16 to 17, defines the mark required on the hand, forehead to buy and sell. Revelation 14, 9 to 11 mentions warning against receiving the mark. Exodus 13, verses 9, and Deuteronomy 6, verses 8 contextualize the forehead and hand as traditional Hebrew symbols for belief and action. Let me come on down here. The fact that these Edomites are talking about, I didn't type in Revelation. I didn't help them at all. I just put in Bible. I put in IOE, Internet of Everything, which includes the human body, and human biometric microchipping. Then I put in Bible. The first scripture that popped, the main scripture that popped up was the one scripture that popped up was Revelation 13 and 16. It's a mark of the beast, a microchip. Now let's open this up real quick. We sounded like a broken record, but we're trying to bring it on home. I believe I read this article. Is a mark of the beast a microchip? A microchip. I just want to get to the meat of it. I'm not going to read the whole article. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way here. All right, 7 times. Beautiful. What I want. As a mark of the beast token of Revelation 13, believe that the mark of the beast is silicon microchip. We're right here. First, biblically, the mark of the beast is parity, Lamb 144. John's reference to the mark of the beast in Revelation securely tethered to Scripture. Conversely, the notion that the mark of the beast is Sunday worship. Nope, it's not Sunday worship. Finally, the mark of the beast is not something that can be taken inadvertently. It is the intentional denial Let me try this. Let me take this word here, microchip. Microchip. Okay, that's 5 times microchip. Drug Administration approved the marketing of a microchip implant under the skin of humans for medical identification. Why does the hospital got to identify you? So they can, when they give you the bill, they can. You go in the hospital, and I've been in the emergency room. The first thing they ask for is an ID before anything. Before you go past that nurse's desk, they're gonna ask you for a driver's license. Then they're gonna ask you if you got a job, and they're hoping you say no because they get their money easy through Medicaid. Medicaid. There is no biblical basis for believing that the mark of the beast is a silicone microchip. John's reference to the mark of the beast in Revelation is securely tethered to the script. I read this already. Conversely, the notion that the mark of the beast is Sunday worship, a social security card number, or a silicon microchip has no biblical basis whatsoever. Because they don't. This group right here is set up rather than fearfully avoiding microchip technology. We should, with fear and trembling, resist. No, you gotta reject it. You gotta reject it. Let me just do this. IOE International. No, I don't want this. Let me try this. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, so this is the first time you're watching this. Let's go ahead and play it.
Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halayimna Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakakadash. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His Son, and our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, to the 144,000. Double honor and respect to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Coming back at you with another lesson. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. ... So I was following some updates today and following some updates and some executive orders that Donald Trump signed today. And when you look at everything from the big picture perspective, everything is tied to energy, natural gas, ultimately the grid. So, and then you had Joe Biden allow all these so-called illegal immigrants over into the country. So you see that the left hand and the right hand of government are working in tandem. And there was a lesson that I did probably about 2 years ago, no, longer than that, maybe about 3 years ago, talking about these illegal immigrants, so-called, how they'll be used as a problem to bring forth a solution. Man-made problems to bring forth mandates to have to certify citizens digitally. So I talked about order out of chaos and creating the scenario to bring forth the off-the-shelf solution. So now you have a situation in which a foreign threat is being used as a prelude to bring forth mandatory digital credentials in order to be certified as a...
Now they're saying this is just for these illegal aliens. We got to keep track of them, but it's going to be on every. You're going to be like that illegal. You're going to have to get tracked too.
Citizen. So you notice when you're stopped driving or when you're stopped by a police officer while driving, you have to show your driver's license. So now Trump is saying that the grid or the U.S. energy is being threatened by foreign adversaries. So that's going to be tied into citizens being mixed in with these so-called illegal immigrants. So what?
Remember, they grabbed up anybody that looked like a Latin, whether they were born in this country or not, whether they had citizenship or not. They would grab them up, process them, and eventually find out, oh, he was born here, let him go. So they're going to do that to all of y'all.
What's happening is this mass punishment strategy, where now you have to verify everybody through a verichip process. So now, instead of the traditional driver's license, passport, travel ID, or driver's license and military IDs, and then they're going to merge this real ID, all is being tied back into these encrypted credentials to be a verified U.S. citizen through a verichip process. Let's look this up here. Verichip. I looked this up years ago. What is the verichip? What is the verichip? Well, what do you know? I first read about this around the year 2000. Verichip is a type of implantable microchip. Remember, part of the provisions
Verichip is the mark of the beast.
Of this 6G platform that they're bringing forth was implantable technology, implantable devices. The Verichip is a type of implantable microchip designed to be placed under a person's skin, usually in the upper arm, for identification purposes. Here's what it actually is. The Verichip is a small RFID radio frequency identification. Remember, President Obama had this in the provisions of a new bill that he passed. Trying to remember what it was called, but let's see here. We'll get it. It contains a unique ID number or the new technology has GPS tracking. When scanned with a special reader, it transmits that ID number. That number can be linked to a database with information like medical records, identity details, or access credentials. See? So this is a way ahead here, because everybody is perceived as a domestic threat or a domestic T. So creating the problem to bring forth a ready-made, off-the-shelf solution. Who made it? It was developed by Applied Digital Solutions, later associated with a company called Verichip Corporation. See, early 2000s. So I first came across this technology in the year 2000. Promoted for medical identification. This is key, because some sort of sickness, illness, pandemic is going to be used along with economic crashes. He calls it all. So it's going to be worse than 2020. We all know what happened during 2020. It's going to be worse than that, because you're going to have an energy crisis, gas, fuel, and oil shortages. You're going to have economic collapse, and at the same time, a massive global pandemic. See? So this device is going to be absolutely essential. It's how it's going to be pitched by Donald Trump and his administration. Essential to survival and maintaining good order and discipline, and being able to secure the energy and the electrical grid from foreign adversaries. Early 2000s promoted medical identification, emergency responders. Medical identification, emergency responders could scan unconscious patients. When my wife was in the hospital, they kept coming by scanning her. But at that time, she had a wristband. So all of this is going to be merged. Everything is going to be merged into a central database. That's why you have all these data centers being raised up that are co-located with ICE facilities, ICE agent facilities. So these data centers are not co-located with ICE by accident, because they're going to be enforcing these digital mandates and certified credentials under medical tyranny. So they're even combining the National Intelligence Agency with the...
You're going to need the microchip too. If you get sick, you can't go to the hospital. If your woman's pregnant, you better get a midwife. You better learn them herbs, because you're not gonna have access to any sort of modern, westernized hospital center.
He's implementing these devices to monitor citizens. Early 2000s promoted medical identification, emergency responders could scan unconscious patients, also marketed for security access. See? So it's tied to national intelligence monitoring, National Security Agency, or NSA, like entering into buildings. In 2004, it became the first FDA-approved implantable RFID chip for human use in the U.S. So it does have GPS technology nowadays. Requires a nearby scanner. So you have near field communication, or NFC, where you can buy or sell. Privacy concerns, limited widespread adoption. Security risks, slow adoption. Well, under the national or the Trump is implementing this War Powers Act. So it gives the government more unlimited control to bypass some of these restrictions or limitations, to circumvent these privacy concerns or security and health risk concerns under the Emergency War Powers Act. The original company shifted focus and the product faded from common use. Some people connect their chip to, so here you go, the disclaimer, religious conspiracies. See, mark of the beast. But in practical terms, it was simply a medical ID technology experiment. So this technology has been more advanced since 2000. This is another thing that I was reading years ago. What is digital angel? See? This is a little more advanced here. Biosensors, Digital Angel Corporation, a U.S. tech company. You see how they're building all these tech giants, Palantir.
All these tech companies are working together. The original name, the important one, Digital Angel Corporation. I remember that from the 90s. Digital Angel has been around for years. Was a U.S. tech company to develop tracking and monitoring technology. You look it up, Digital Angel. That goes back to the 90s. It might have gone back as far as the 80s. They work with GPS and RFID biosensors. Their system could track locations via GPS, monitor vital signs, heart rate, temperature, etc. It was designed for things like medical patients, an example given, Alzheimer's, heart conditions, missing persons. Yeah, that's going to help if you are suffering from Alzheimer and you got a chip on you that can find you, like a dog or a cat. Children, missing persons, children, military or high value asset tracking.
They even did automatic commissioning to 4 biotech civilian employees to make them direct appointments to lieutenant colonels in the Army, biotech brains or engineers. See, they work with GPS and RFID biosensors, monitors heart rate, tracks location, monitors body temperature, designed for medical patients, Alzheimer's, missing persons, missing children, military or high-value asset tracking. See? So this is a step further. They work with GPS plus RFID biosensors. Their systems could track location via GPS, monitor vital signs, heart rate, temperature. See? So under a medical lockdown, these devices can be mandated when evoking Emergency Powers Act under a federal mandate and under the executive branch. It was designed for medical patients, heart conditions, Alzheimer's, missing persons, children, military or high-value asset tracking. Remember, he calls it or doeth great signs, miracles, and wonders, aesthetic arms and robotic limbs, robotic legs and arms. They use, what is it called? With the conditioning. Remember that little show that came on, The Bionic Man, where they use this, where they mental conditioning to bring forth these technologies. Man, what's that term? It'll come to me. Connection to Verichip. Digital Angel was actually connected to Verichip. See, implantable. So this is all in the Bible. Worn on the body, could alert authorities or doctors. More privacy concerns. Let's go ahead and end it here. Let's read this. Revelation 13. Let's go to verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So this is the revised Roman system. Under America, the EU and NATO, and deceiveth them that firepower, their military apparatus, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. See?
Now you got Bishop Nate talking about, that's a picture of Caesar Borgia, and it said the beast that caused the image to speak. That's Max von Sydow in the movie The Greatest Story Ever Told, talking. The Spirit is not dealing with Bishop Nathaniel. When you teach this fairy tale, old wives' tale.
The renaissance or the rebirth of this Roman system. but now it has more vassal states, more firepower, more advanced technologies, the so-called cutting-edge technology or the sword. Let's go here real quick. Revelation 6, verse 4. Let's go to 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. See? Cutting edge technology, firepower, laser technology, advanced computer network technology, global positioning system technology, sensors technology, satellite technology, global communications networks, advanced weaponry that are connected to satellites for precision guiding or precision guidance technology and targeting, from spatial satellite tracking. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this beast speaks through policies, mandates, evoking or enacting orders, mandating this new system to be credentialed under encrypted devices, implantable technology under the 6G platform, and evoking these Presidential Emergency Powers Acts, draconian laws, ultimately. See, so it's connected to how he causeth. You got energy, Atomic Energy Agency. So all of these things are coming into play, maintaining or protecting the U.S. grid network or its encrypted databases, these data centers now, protecting its oil and energy assets, claiming a foreign adversary threat to the grid. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. See? So this is a way ahead here. Through cutting edge technology, his blessing is the sword, which also incorporates deception, deceit, cunning technology, sleight of hand, false miracles, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. See? So this is the marriage to this beast system, to show allegiance to Satan, ultimately, to be down with the beast. Through digital encrypted devices, which are subdermally implanted beneath the skin. Remember, Yuval Noah Harari said now we don't have to fear the God in the sky or the God of the Bible, the man in the sky, so to speak. Now we have the capability and the opportunity presents itself to hack the human body, which starts with the human mind. Yuval Noah Harari, he said, now we have the technology to hack into the human anatomy. So that starts with our mind. and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Chi stigma. See? So the barcode system is going to be used to scan people traveling or moving in and out of zones, security zones, to go in and out of a city. Many cities are not going to even be accessible if you don't have the right credentials. So each citizen's chip is going to have certain levels of access, entry, and egress, certain authorization levels based on social credit scores, similar to China. Many citizens are going to be locked out of society through digital means. Hopefully this lesson has been edifying. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala. Kwam Yasharala. And about the ball. We got next, Lord willing. Barakatham. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Okay. Let me just check this out. Let me see what this is all about.
Listen to stupid, dumb Israelite camps. I'll give you an example. You got Israelite camps that say Israel is not in Africa. Let's go with that stupid thought just for a second.
Well, we don't say that. We know that there are Israelites in Africa, Nigeria. I guess he's talking about, it would make sense that he's talking about the ISUPK, which I believe there's now teaching it. I know Captain Zariak is now more leaning towards it because he said it a couple of times. So he doesn't know what's going on. He's sincere, but he doesn't know what's going on. I know what he's going to say based upon the title right here. He gonna wake up. He gonna wake up. It says, read Bishop Nate. Don't listen to stupid, dumb Israelite camps about Africa. The scriptures, there's nothing in the scriptures, mainly Acts, the first chapter, where it says go to Africa. Our focus is not on Africa. Our focus is not on Europe, the Netherlands, Solomon Islands. Our focus is here in America. The internet will bring the gospel to the rest of the world. When it says this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole earth or published throughout the whole earth, then the end shall come, doesn't mean that Israelites, prophets are going to go to every place in America and face each and every Israelite. That's not going to happen. That's in Matthew chapter 10. The ones that get it in other countries are going to get it through the internet.
In 1820, do you not realize over 15,000 slaves from America was brought to Liberia? Over 15, almost 20,000 was sent from America, Canada, Nova Scotia, was sent to Sierra Leone. Stop listening to these unlearned, stupid Israelites with the stupid headbands and a scarf on their head. They stupid as a rock. They dumb as a
You're talking about the ISUPK.
rock. Don't listen to them.
That is true. The Bible says, teach this word. He said, my sheep hear my voice. Who are we to say where God's sheep is not at? That is just the dumbest thing to ever say to anybody.
Didn't he say, God said our people were scattered in all nations?
That's what it said.
What does all nations?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean to go to every Israelite scattered throughout the whole planet Earth. There's got to be 2-3 billion Israelites. How the fuck you gonna hit 2-3 billion Israelites face to face? You know? And why aren't you guys in Europe? Why aren't you all throughout Europe talking to Edomite people that look like you? Because a lot of those Europeans are actually Jakes that look like Edomites.
So you go to all nations and teach, and it's not up to us who hears it, but the ones that take it is going to be God's people. You're going to be so damn dumb and say, well, I'm not going over there because God's people are over there. That means you're not the guys.
We never said, you guys just don't know. You just don't have it, man. You just don't have it at all. And this shit is embarrassing.
It's simple as that. You're not the guys. That's why I'm arguing with them.
All right, Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh.
So we're going to let this play.
Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right. And this video is going to be entitled Response to Bishop Nate and Deacon Yawasop. Don't listen to stupid, dumb Israelite camps. Don't listen to stupid, dumb Israelite camps. Okay? And basically, that's the start of the video. Bishop Nate was talking about don't listen to stupid, dumb Israelite camps who tell you that Israel is not in Africa. And what he means is Israelites that say that there's no Israelites in Africa. And nobody's saying that. This is just a premise that Bishop Nate is using because the apostles been saying that you got no business being over there in Africa because the Great Awakening or because America is going to be destroyed with nuclear destruction. The focus of the ministry is supposed to be Babylon the Great, not going over to Africa. Now what Bishop Nate is doing, he's using that as a vehicle to ride in, that as a disguise, because why? He gets the 501c3 and they're bringing in a lot of money, right? A lot of donations. They got the Booster Club. They got all kind of money that's coming in. So they're being forced, just like, that's why you see IUIC, Birmingham, and ISUPK and other groups doing food drives and they cleaning up the community because why? They have to continue to do that to get them grants and them loans and them charters from the government. They have to show that they putting the money, all the money they taking in, they have to show that they putting the money to use. So Bishop Nate is doing what the Christians say they doing. He going to try to making it seem as though they so sincere, they going all over the earth trying to teach all the Israelites, right? But the Lord said, focus on Babylon the Great, because this is where the destruction is going to be. All the focus is supposed to be on the Babylon the Great. So we never said there's no Israelites in Africa. What we did say, starting with our head apostles on down, is that the focus of the ministry is America, Babylon the Great. The Lord never told us to go to every nation to teach the truth, to go to the four corners and teach the truth. That's a lie y'all came up with, because that's what you want to do. You want to travel all over the earth. And if that's what you want to do, whatever. But don't make it as though that's biblical, right? The prophets literally going to every nation of the earth. Because if that's the case, why you ain't go to India? Why you ain't going to China? Right? Why you ain't going to Sri Lanka? Why you ain't going to the Islamic countries? Because there's Israelites there too. And we know Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's never been a question. But what we did say, and it's scriptural, that the Valley of Dry Bones is a centralized location, and the Great Awakening and all 12 of the tribes are in a particular place, and they're going to come out of there first, and then all parts of the earth. Let's go into a few scriptures here. And that's just an excuse Bishop Nate is using. All right, first let's go right to Matthew. This is Matthew chapter 10, right? And we're going to go to we'll start at 22. We're going to try to make it to the point. Matthew 10 and 22, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. What does it mean? You're not going to have time to go to every place where Israelites are physically present and teach them the truth before the Lord comes. If you're saying that your mission is to go to every nation and teach and find the Israelites there, then you're going to fail, because the Lord is going to come back before you have a chance to go to every nation on the earth. So somebody's wrong, okay? Somebody's going off, and that's y'all. You going off for going over the Africa Hamite world, because the Lord gave us the internet that will enable the gospel to be preached in all nations. That's how the word has gone out. Let's get Matthew, and we know that the scriptures say this, so let's go ahead and read it now. This is Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. But how is that preaching in all nations going to happen? It's going to happen through the vehicle that the Lord gave, which is the internet. Now, before we get those internet scriptures, let's show you a few other things real quick. Let's get Jeremiah 3 and verse 17. It says, at that time shall they call Jerusalem the throne of the Lord, and all nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of the Lord, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the imagination of their evil heart. Listen, in those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north. Where's the land of the north? That's America, Babylon the Great. Let's read it again. In those days the house of Judah, the southern kingdom, shall walk with the house of Israel, the northern kingdom, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. So the great awakening and the great deliverance is going to start. The great awakening is going to start in Babylon the Great. It's going to spread to the other parts of the earth. But the main deliverance is going to come out of America, Babylon the Great. Why? Because this place is going to be destroyed with nuclear destruction. This is where, and these different Israelites call it the second Exodus, but it's the great deliverance that's going to come from Babylon the Great. That's why the focus is here. Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into the land, into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So they're gonna, this new Exodus, right? If you want to call it that, which is the great deliverance, is gonna make the old Exodus, the one from Exodus, the book of Exodus, it's going to pale in comparison to this great deliverance that the Lord is going to give to the Israelites over here in Babylon the Great.
The Israelites over there in Africa, unless they're of the elect, which is going to be a small number, they'll be delivered. But the majority of those Israelites that are living in Africa, they're going to remain on the earth because they're not going to get hit with missiles. Africa, when World War III Armageddon takes place, Africa's not going to be hit in a major way. So they'll be intact. They'll be there. They'll be alive, and then we'll go around the world and put the whole planet in order. That's when we go around the world, to put the whole planet Earth in order under the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai are the Israelites from the leadership on down. So no, you have no business going to Africa, setting up camp in Africa. And those ones of those Africans that follow you guys that set up a page, they're not pushing videos. They're not out there on fire. They put little 5-minute, 10-minute shorts on there, and that's it. The spirit ain't with them at all, and the spirit's not with you.
That's why all the focus is over here. So Bishop Nate, you're really lying. You know, you're misleading people. And you're going to have them followers, them demented followers of yours, thinking that somebody getting on y'all for going to Africa, and you're making them think that's what the mission is not to go to Africa, right? The mission ain't to go to every nation and teach the word. What's happening is the word is going to spread, as it has, to Africa and other nations, and men there are going to be raised up, and they're going to preach in their own countries. You know, because we got GMS Nigeria, GMS Tanzania, GMS Central Africa. Just to name 3. So we got disciples, right? Or the Lord has disciples over there in Africa preaching the word already. What are you talking about? So we don't physically have to go there ourselves. The word has traveled there, and the great deliverance is in Babylon the Great anyway. Now, what IUIC and their members, people that follow them, often do, you will ignore scriptures and sound doctrine for your own opinion because you're stuck on having this image like you love the Israelites so much you're willing to go to Smyrna and you're willing to go.
What about France? So there's no, being that y'all got legally kicked out, IUIC is no longer have anything to do with France. They legally, from the president, they kicked you out of France. They kicked you out of France, so you can't wear the IUIC t-shirts. They kick you out of that place. So does that mean that there's no Israelites in France? Or there's no elect Israelites in France? Let me see your black ass go to fucking France, man. Fucking stupid as hell. This guy just makes it up as he goes along. And he's going to really look like a jackass when he's going to have to explain the mark of the beast. And hopefully there's elect members in your camp. And if they are, they're going to go against y'all.
Go to Africa, you wouldn't go, okay, well, let's see your ass go all the way on the other side of the planet. Because we got camps all the way in Australia. We got 2 camps in Australia, GMS Melbourne, right? And what's the other one? Damn, the capital city of Australia. I can't even remember it right now. Right? Let me look it up real quick. We got GMS Melbourne.
You think Melbourne is?
Just bear with me here. Capital of Australia. Damn it. Capital of Australia. All right, no, that's not it. Canberra? No, man. Major city in Australia. Major city. Damn it, can't spell. Salakia. Australia. Fuck that all up. Sydney. So we got a brother that's over there in Sydney, and we got brothers in Melbourne. All the way on the other side of the planet, preaching the gospel. How did they learn about it? They learned about it through the internet, through the unicorn. That's how they learned about it. As well as we also have brothers preaching in Africa, just like we talked about. Africa, Holland, Germany.